Right, so when this old Indesit stopped being noisy, we're actually going to test it out now anyway. So, I bought this for myself. It's an Indesit Omega 1200 Prestige line. It's not actually clipped under there properly. It's a W132WR, but there's no instruction manual anywhere for this. So trying to actually guess what everything is, yeah, we're gonna have to like try and work it out for ourselves. The draw's quite interesting. We've got obviously A, B, and then C. So pre-wash, main wash, and then fabric softener. And there's actual a thing there for the fabric softener to escape when it after it fills. We've got 17 programs, so it looks like we've got Cotton 90 pre-wash, Cotton 90, then Cotton 60, Cotton 40 at 4, then Cotton cold wash at 5, then you got obviously rinses, and then spin at 1200 RPM. Then A looks like nylon 60 with pre-wash. Then we look like we've got a 9, 60, 10, 50, 11, 40. Maybe silks, I don't know. Who knows? It's a bit hard to tell. Then we've got obviously rinses for mixed fabrics. Then we've got final rinse there actually. Then stop. And then 14 is drain only. And then stop. And then we've got wool. Obviously 40. Then we've got wool rinses. And then we've got a slow spin at 17, which is, I think, probably about 400 RPM on this. There enough. Then we've got all these options, and it's got loads of options here. So we've got Energy Saver, which I'm going to guess is probably going to reduce the 90 programs to 60. Obviously we've got half load for the cotton cycle. Probably does a lower level. I don't know about anti-crease. There seems to be a rinse stop there, so unless there's another rinse stop somewhere, I don't know. Then we've got 12 to 600 RPM, which is obviously for cottons. We've got a hand wash button. I don't know why, because we've got ones over here on a separate side. Then we've also got Rappy Wash, which will save time. Then we've got stain removal. Don't know what it's going to do, but I'm going to guess that with this machine that it will. So normally it would do, say, hot fill or hot and cold fill on the hot programs, but it'll just do pure cold fill with stain removal to obviously allow the enzymes to work. Right. I was sold it in full working order, so it should fully work. Inside we've got a 5 kilogram drum. Sorry, a 5.5 kilogram drum. Yeah, this is a 5.5 kilogram drum. It is tiny. Yeah. The door seal's clean. They have cleaned it, but this has gone solid here, so I've got to be careful, make sure it doesn't rip, because it's gone very hard there. But, while it's sold in working order, listen very carefully, and the main bearings just started to go slightly rumbly. I mean, luckily I didn't pay an absolute fortune for this machine. It is, condition-wise, it's actually very clean altogether. We've got a tiny spot of rust down here, but that's it. There's no... And what's... Okay, I was going to say there's no dents, but when you actually look at it from the side, you can see imperfections on the metal here, but you just can't see them from the outset, so it's pretty cool. It's not yellowed too much either, despite being 33 years old, so what do you expect? It's quite cool. I'm going to leave the sticker on, because that came standard. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to take it off, it'll ruin it. Yeah, so we're going to see if it actually works. So to test it out, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start it off on hopefully 2. The trouble is with this dial is obviously, because obviously it's all connected to turning where the things go, where the water needs to go, it's very stiff for some reason. So when you're going from, say, like pre-wash to main wash, trying to set it up's a bit hard. It's got loads of lights to say what's going on. Hot filling doesn't appear to be doing anything, so I'm going to press stain removal. And I was right, so that's what stain removal does. Because I've only attached the cold, so watch. When I turn that off, hot fill. Stain removal on cold. Right, I'm just going to put a little bit of DAS in. This should be quite clean anyway. Because obviously nothing less than, well, oh no, that's odd. You can have cold wash, so yeah. I was gonna say you can't have 40, but you can. You can have less than 40, but you can. Right, a little bit of DAS in there. Okay, and then we'll go. That was a good guess for stain removal. Actually. Yeah, because it comes straight down here. A bit like a Maloney service. Although saying that Maloney service came down this side. Needs a little bit of a clean, but it's really in nice condition for what it is. So, obviously you've got the 5 lights at the top there, so when it's on heating, the heat light will light, when it's draining, the emptying light will light, and when you're obviously filling it with hot water, as we've just seen, the hot light will light. Cool. For its age, obviously just like the Hoover Logics, although I think the Hotpoint's microtronics are better because it just shows you what the spin speed was at any point. Heating straight away. That's quite cool. I probably missed 1 notch, so that's probably why. Like I said, trying to get it onto program 2 properly is hard. Trying to get it on any program is really hard on this. But I'll leave it going. Cool, let's see how we get on. I'm going to reckon there's a static heat, so we'll come back to it in a minute. Our static heats us so far, and it'll start washing. But we'll come back to that in a minute. Right, so the Indesit is probably about 70 at the minute. Key out scraping. Yeah, so can I. That sounds like a heater clip. That's either the heater's not in place properly, or the clip broke and therefore the heater's raised. Just doesn't sound like the heater's in properly at all. so hot. Right, so I'm going to let you just do a few rinses. I think I've advanced it, so it should be doing rinse. That's the third rinse. And I think there's a fabric softener rinse. Hang on. Yes, I think that's the third rinse. There's another spin. Fabric softener and a final spin. I think it's definitely leak proof and it's definitely not leaking. This is pretty cool actually. I do like it actually. But now going back through it, because I remember me mum, dad's, my mum's friend, they had a W824 in brown and white for 17 years. And I remember obviously going to spin, but because obviously I had a 400-800 spin. They had a 400-800 button, and to be honest, that was all it did on the final spin. It would go from 0 to 4 to 8, and that was it. And it clicked. I thought they were induction, but they weren't. They're brushed. Even now thinking about it, they were brushed. Not strong enough, that's pumping nothing out of them. Watch. You can hear the pump, but it's not doing anything. It's doing now. Right, we'll test this out then. Yeah, it's a Hotpoint Ultima WT965A. obviously this is now my third Ultima. So the original Ultima I still have. The second Ultima I got originally and fixed up and then sold. And then I actually bought this for myself. Right, so the reason why I bought it is because, let's face it, my own Ultima is practically a bit... I wouldn't say it's beyond the economical repair, but it's going to take a long time to sort of source everything. Anyway, I've only just noticed today, before I bought this, there's a crack on the door. I did notice the fact that this is white and not silver, so it's obviously been replaced. This is the auction room, so obviously you can't plug it in. I've actually paid quite a lot in respect. I mean, 50 quid's quite a lot for what I'd normally pay for stuff. So, there we go. But I thought I'd buy it because then we can get out the other Hotpoint and do wash races as well. And that's one of the reasons why I bought it. I'm also not going to get rid of this. I'm going to keep it. I don't know about my own original one, but I think I probably will keep that as well. And do something special with it, I think. Obviously, we've got all this detergent that's sort of deteriorating the silver on the front. But if I wanted it resprayed, I can just take the front off and get it resprayed. Obviously, I'm going to source a door handle. And I'm going to glue that back up, actually. Take the outer trim off. When I do the door handle, I'll do the outer trim and glue it up. Obviously, the door seal needs cleaning. But actually, the reason why I did buy it as well, there's no bearing noise, and the spider seems fine. Or certainly that's what I seem to think. Yeah. I've got these like weird notches down here. Can you see? And there's one notch there, but there's none on this side here. Very weird, but there we go. Display is quite dark, which is normal, I suppose, at this age. But mine was always dark, and then the actual board actually did go all together. But this is still going, so I'm just going to do a boil wash, and cool, we'll see if it goes. If it does work, yeah, we've got, let's see, a generation of 3 Hotpoints here, so we will be doing some wash racing later on, maybe. So there we go. Let's see if this works then. So, look at that. It actually fills up quite quietly. Actually, that's quite impressive. The kick plate, it's not on, but it is present. I think I took it off so it didn't get damaged. But I have still got it. It will go back on, I think, before we do some wash racing. I would like to get this cleaned. It's quite annoying. It's not the most perfect condition, but for what I paid for it and what I wanted to do, should be okay. Right, so this came from the same house as this, or the same seller. They do house clearances, so that's why we've got these. But look what I got! A Hoover, okay, it's not an AE140, but it's an AE130, and we'll do with that. It switches on. It spins. I've had it spinning. That's to tell you that the door's open. That's quite interesting. The door seal's quite cracked. Down here. We've also got weird rust, which will actually come off. Yeah, that's weird, having rust on a stainless steel. We've got rust here. Now this has actually been painted over. Don't look like it's been painted over by them, but it's painted over by the actual owner at whatever time that was. There's also a patch down there at the side, which is quite normal for this age. Everything's present in the drawer. We're going to do Cont 60 tests. That just fell out. Test everything. Yeah, cool. So I've just started, main wash, light flash, they will flash for about 10 minutes. It runs a bit like a Logix. So you will hear it ticking behind here before it actually does anything, and it takes ages, it takes about 2 minutes. If I can try and take on hot, which I don't have attached. Unless I attached it to cold by accident. So the jets, the pump for the other jets on, up here, but nothing's coming out. Weird. Yeah, so I've been watching for about 20 minutes and it's come up with 1 hour 12 left. Which is quite impressive considering that the quick wash button is even on. But I do believe that these have a load sensor still, and I think it still has, and this is where I think the Quattro system comes in, a 4-level sensor. Obviously the Ultimas that kind of came after, like within the built into the extras, were 4-level as well, so it'd be quite interesting to see. But yeah, 1 hour 12, 90 minutes in total. That's impressive. Our Hotpoint here is definitely toward boil now. Look at it. Alright, so we did a cool down. I heard it drain, and it's just come up with error 8, which is a bit weird. I mean, if I have to take the board off the W2965 or W2960, I will. But then by then you're pretty much rendering the whole machine as useless. Yeah, a bit unusual. So it won't let you switch it off at all. The door's still locked. So off at the wall. On. Clicking. Right, so our Hoover's just fully working, and our Hotpoint is going to Hoover AE130 again. So I'm going to have a look at the heater, connections and the board and see what we can see. Final rinse. Okay, so we've got the jet going. Filter. Yeah, there's a filter on the jet. Believe it or not on the actual drain pump. Though looking at it, what it's doing is all everything's going for the back, and then getting pumped over via this jet. Oh, and another thing as well, when it's on final rinse, it goes into spin for some reason. I'm loving this machine. I'll tell you that one. Right, so let's test this then. I've not put it on an actual cycle at all. All I've done is put some towels in. I've put it on cotton 60 with eco time, and then selected hanger dry, which should get it mostly dried. What's the? And I found this in my dad's. So I'm going to put some DAS in. It's got the wrong drawer on because the other one is gone for cleaning. Hence why I've got that one on. I've just done a quick fill and drain test. Fills and drains, motor works. This is from the uncle, so it should fully work. Oh, and the dryer was never used, so. This should fully work. Here's something interesting. If you attach a hot and a cold to a washing machine like this, then disconnect the hot from the hot end. This happens when it fills up through cold. Who knew? Right, so we've done one wash, we've gone through a jet that was cleared, the jet pump that now squeals badly. Win! Right, so this has been drying for about 90-ish minutes, I think. But it's definitely sort of coming to the end of the cycle, or the drying phase. It should be done in the next 10 minutes or so. So 10 minutes turned into about 1. I didn't realise how far off it was actually. But yeah, it's going to take about 90 minutes to dry the load. Maybe not even that. So obviously it's definitely not gone over its allotted time, so let's just see if it's actually dried when it unlocks. So this is on hanger dry. And do you know what? They're just about absolutely bob on, perfect for hanger dry. So it definitely works. Wow, impressive that actually. Well, saying that, they've always worked for me actually. Indesits, washer dryers. Okay, they're not that quick, but they do work. I like that actually. Right, let's see if this Zanussi works. Now. So it's just had new brushes installed, but I've had to import from Germany for some reason. It's definitely heating. Also carried E52, but EF5 and E41. Obviously E41's the door, EF5's to just do with the general motor kind of thing. I need to search that back up again. And E52 is a tacho speed problem. But bear in mind I've just changed the brushes, and what tends to happen is when the brushes get too low, it can cause it to not spin properly basically, and give up this error code. So now I've got no error codes. It's very normal for that to give an error code doing that. So There we go. So before we start, I'm going to let this door unlock and hopefully I can take the filter out now. For some reason it's jammed on one side and it won't come up. But I want to empty it because it's full of limescale. And then we're going to put it on normal boil. What is it? Boil 90 super quick. When it gets to sort of 90-ish, we'll put it on the thingy, service wash, and then let it spin out a few times. Yeah, that is the wash water height. We're 1 minute in. We're 2 minutes in actually. That's black. It's not brown, it's black. Okay, so we'll leave it at this point. We're going to switch it off. And put it on wash. Oh no, put it on to heat. Yeah. 74 degrees we're at. And that is... yeah. Never known it to be like that, ever. We'll cool it down, drain it out. Right, so we've got an update on the Indesit WIXL123. Obviously I repaired the board, so now we're on took the door seal off, I've cleaned it. It's come back really far back here for some reason now. Should relax and go back again. I've cleaned the drawer. Oddly enough, look what the bleach does. It actually whitens the plastic when it goes through the bleach. That's nice and clean. It's not, but it now appears to be going to another collector instead. So, and I'll be swapping it for another machine. Look, the active care has now been unburied. It's been buried for ages, actually. I'm going to do some more washing in it, I think, at some point, because it's not been used for ages. And then we got this, which is flashing away. It's the Indesit WIB. Someone might have recognised. So a lot of you, let's say some of you, a lot of you recognised that the motor was wrong, and indeed it was. It had this motor on the C set, because actually what this is underneath is a WIA101. That's what it started out as. The board, no sorry, WIA121, but what happened was the board was completely gone. So what I did was I took the WIB111 board, top board and bottom board and pressure switch, and this, which actually is the only problem he's doing left, and swapped them all over and got it going, and hey presto, you look on YouTube. But the motor was also still the WIA121, so that's down there. So now I've actually put the Welling motor in, but the Welling motor has come from the Moon. But the Moon doesn't use a Welling motor, it uses one of them motors, but it isn't that motor, it's another motor. It's get confusing. Anyway, I took the Welling motor off, it's now had new brushes put in. Because while they hadn't completely worn out, they were basically maybe less than a fifth left, and so it needed doing. So what we're going to do is do program 2. I'm going to put some more citric. I'm sure I've put citric acid in before, but just test it out. I'm going to do that. Give us a second. Right, so we're going to put a ball of citric acid in. Cool. 90. Program 2. I put it on rapid wash. Wow, that worked straight away. Right, so that's 2 of 2 repaired today. I think this bit's still in soak of the bleach. The drawer's done though, which is weird. Oh, and this... And I was quite lucky to find the brushes for that, because what was really weird is the fact that they had brand new brushes. I knew I had somewhere but couldn't find them, so I've ordered some more anyway. But it turned out they were over here on a box by these machines that were all buried over there. I suppose I'm going to do that next. No, well, we might do it after, but... Cool. That's quite cool, that. I will get it on afterwards. Some point. But yeah, I'm trying to get all the Indesits done and then I can start selling the Indesits in a very bizarre way. Also, I want to do a wash race, of course, between them. I think one's going to be between those two. So, although the opposite ends of the thing, they should be moved together. And then I'll have a wash race between that, Inex. And then there's one that's not even been looked at yet, which you're going to have a see, but I should have parts for, so I should be able to do a wash race between it. That's that. I'm going to rebuild the other one as well, the 2008 one. Oh, and the My Time, if we dig it out. Right, that's ready to go into its cool down, or it's in a heat boost. No. It's at boiling point. And another thing, we're plugged in for 2 reasons onto this camera. The battery doesn't seem to want to charge anymore on it. So, and if you instantly disconnect it, it will just go straight off. And the other thing is, this has started playing up. Yeah, it was actually, you could hear it arcing inside the plug socket, and the LED was then flashing because of it. So, I think I'm going to replace the plug. But how many spare plugs I've got, I don't know. I need to keep... Yeah, that should be fine. Right, so an update on this, the Indesit IWDC7143. This has been into soak. That's been into soak. I've just reattached it onto there. The door seal hasn't, because actually it's pretty clean. But I've put this door lock in. I mean, it should instantly lock. Ready? Right, so we appear to have found the problem with this Indesit that's making that noise. Ugh. I wonder if you can see. Yep, the pulley's broken, and that's actually where it's properly broken. There. Wonder if it could get one. So I removed the heater as well, because I actually thought like maybe the heater or the holder was up against it, and no, but it is covered in lime scale. I don't know how the heater hasn't blown, because that, where it's turned black, is normally where it's about to blow. And it hasn't. Well, not yet anyway. What happened last night? I left this running! And it's just flooded everywhere. And this is just like sat here now doing nothing. What is it doing? I don't know. Why is the board dead? I don't know. Hold on. Hold on, it isn't the Zanussi it's broke that flooded. It was the Indesit. This is Indesit because I put it on a... Ah, my fault. I mean, did we actually finish? Shut up! Hang on. This looks like it's finished though. It has as well. Cycle finished, but why is it broke again? I know E90's a COM problem. Right. Right, let's see if this works. Oh, again. Right, we'll get in an error code of E103, do the heater. It was obviously, well, I've changed the heater now. It's had new set of gum brushes and a heater. What's next? Oh, the door seal's now been cleaned as well. Look at that. It's like new. Oh, I'll get some WD-40 on that squeak. We're getting there. Looks clean as well. Luke's done that for me, so right. I just want a quick test actually. Normally I just put it on 90 and then see how it goes. Actually, let's do that because it's got pre-wash in it anyway. Right. Seriously, you're doing me heady. Right, see how the pre-wash goes, because if it ends the pre-wash and then you get the error code, it's still got a problem somewhere. Yeah, so the moon is getting fairly warm. It's not that loud considering that there's no back on it actually, there's no back on that. And the candy, here's something really interesting. So what I did, let it do its pre-wash, passed the pre-wash, fine. Got to the main wash, and I paused it and I thought I'll put some towels in, sort of test its belt a bit. Belt's not as bad as I thought it was actually. Maybe we could do looking at. No, it seems fine. But I put no detergent in whatsoever. Okay, let's see if this works. It does. It switches on. Beep beep beep. I think we know what the problem is then. It's this door lock. It might be the door lock itself. No, because it's actually latching. It's locked. It's not actually doing anything. That's locked. Cool. So we know what the issue is then. Although, hold on. This might not be a board issue. It might be just a wiring loom issue. Give us a second. Actually, I think it's a wiring loom issue in a way, because if you notice, it's still striking again and again and again and again, but it can't actually physically do the complete loop. It's strange how it uses a metal flex one. Okay, so actually what I'm going to do is try and replace... It's really weird because the IWE that I stripped... Oh no, it wasn't IWD, that's why it was. Ah, no. So this is an IWE7145. I've had an IWDE. When did this come out then? A bit weird. White cotton, cotton 60, coloured cotton, synthetics. Right, what I think's happened is it won't make it circuit up. I'm wondering whether that's come loose and like burnt. But why is that set on fire? I mean, I think it is to do with this wiring plug. So I'm going to try a different wiring loom and lock. Check the board as well and see what it does. See what we can get. You want a borrowed wiring loom there, but we're working. Right, so let's test this then. It's been rebuilt with a different run. It's not level, I'm going to just say that now. So, turn it on. I'm going to fill it with water. There's no water in it. Fill up alright, fine. Yeah, so this is first time use. So it's like water. Yeah. So we're kind of set up now. This is the only one that he's testing now. That's been that's on a boil wash with some DAS. It did some citric acid and it literally like blasted stuff out from everywhere. So I'm now trying to dissolve the crud that came out with the DAS. Should work. This should be pretty clean because it was in rusty originally. I don't know, that doesn't make sense. But the door seal and all the drawers cleaned. Right, interestingly, so we're set up for a wash race here. I mean, you might see this wash race before this testing video, or unlikely, but anyway, if you do. Anyway, so we've got the WIXL123, then the IWC, then the IWE, and then the index. But I'm going to have to change these two around. Because believe it or not, the age of this IWE is older than this IWC, and the giveaway is this. If you look at the drawer, okay, it says water balance on the front, the old one doesn't, but the main one is how many programs it has. So if you've got an older IWC 6105, you will have 13 programs plus spin, rinse, and spin, spin, and spin and drain. But on the later ones you get 14, and obviously you get a separate cotton standard 60 cotton and separate cotton standard 40. Then regular 60 goes inside white cotton 90, but you also get a cotton standard 20. Yet if you look at the older version, this older version is the old layout. and so you end up with white cotton, which has your Eco Cotton and your Eco 40 in it, then cotton 60, and then a coloured cotton 40. Coloured cotton then becomes mixed cotton. So I need to swap these round. We're getting there. Because we're gonna have obviously a generation wash race between all of these, because they all got a 60-minute wash, they've all got a coloured cycle, and they've all got a cotton standard cycle, and they've all got a synthetic cycle. Am I gonna do wool or not? I don't know. I might do wool. Wool's a bit maybe wool. There's also, we'll do comparative sport cycles as well, because they've all got sport intensive, sport light, and special shoot, all of them. Well, one's got special sports, the older one's got special sport, special shoes. Do special shoes, but I don't know what with, because they haven't got shoes. I just might stick some towels in, I don't know. Okay, so obviously it fills fine. Yeah, I've been blathering on, haven't I, for the last several minutes. Yeah, I've got quite a few wash races to do, I suppose. Cool. That'll do for me. Right, I'm going to stick on the boil wash now. The only thing that needs doing left to it, the jaw's been done and everything, but there's some plastic that needs gluing back together. This fascia's broke here and behind it there. Just needs sort of sticking back with some super glue. Fine. Works. Whoa, look at all the steam come out of that. Did you see it then? Steam coming out of the other Indesit. This is going to be complicated. Which Indesit? Cool. Right, so this is a W103 I'm now currently testing, but it's testing to skip. Yeah, bit of a weird one, this one. So basically, I have a landlord who has several properties around this area, and this was literally 30 feet away from this workshop. So I decided, when I got it, all this had collapsed completely. And what has seemed to have happened is the spring had come off. It hadn't snapped, it just come off. But when I actually got it into the workshop, oh my lord. Yeah, you can see how rotted it is there. Ready? So what I think's been happening is I was going to spin the whole body. The whole body is flexing, look, can you see? And the flexing body has made the spring jump off, basically. So what I've done, the dampers weren't too bad. They weren't completely gone, but they could have been better. So I've put a set of dampers on that aren't the matching ones. They're actually from a later Indesit, but it should work. Also, what's weird about this model, for some reason, it's got the Whirlpool drum in. But don't think that by getting the Whirlpool drum, you're getting a better drum, because it's still sealed. It's still a sealed unit. Yeah, this is Rusty 2.0. I will be doing some washing in it, so don't worry about that. Look at that! Rusty 1.0 was, I think, marginally worse than this, but somehow Rusty was still running as a washing machine in a weird way, whereas this actually stopped running as a washing machine in a weird way. But I've managed to get going again. But I'm going to actually put a wash in it. So the idea is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to level it with a piece of wood on that side, under there. So when you, from the back. I'm going to level it with a piece of wood at the back, so when it flexes, it should actually be I'm going to force it so it's all the way down here like that, basically, on this corner. So when it spins, it's down here. Hopefully then, the spring won't fling off. But I'll tell you something, this is the worst smelling washing machine I have ever come across. Now, I'm pretty strong stomached, and to be honest, when you do this job, you have to be. But, how can you put anything in there and expect it to come out clean? It stinks. But what's bizarre is exactly that. It was set to 60. Actually, I've just upped it to 90. I'm not doing a full test on this because it's going to be. It should be fully working. They only stopped using it simply because the spring had completely come off. The filter was, despite it stinking to high heavens, the filter was completely clear. Although saying that, I think I emptied it. But saying that, there wasn't nothing in it anyway before. But just being sat stagnant. There's a load of water going. Other thing, and the door seal is a riveted one. It's not like the same as these Indesit ones. So it's got loads of little spaces where all the dirt can build up, and it's basically what I've got from it, and that's just a little bit of it, to be honest. So I'm just running it now, see if it starts heating. While we'll sort out, because that needs to go in the car now. We're going to sort out, I'm going to hope this heats, because for some reason it can't be that bad smelling and then but still be washing at 60. It's not, shouldn't be like that. Again, weirdly, it's all yellowed all the way round. Again, just the paint rather than the plastics. The plastics are still white. It's a very bizarre thing, and this seems to affect Indesits, Hoovers, and candies and sort of like services. But then you go to any other brand, it's yellow in plastics and white cabinet. Once you get a Hotpoint, actually Hotpoint's pretty good for not yellowing. I've not known a Hotpoint to yellow yet, actually. To think of it, apart from a WF541, but it's only yellowed on one half and only on the top fascia. Generally the door stays white. Generally the kick plate stays white and everything. This has a kick plate, but because it was that rotted, basically these holes here is where the kick plate goes in, and yeah. We're also squeaking now, aren't we? We're squeaking! So yeah, it's not going back to the customer, so the house, so they will happily have one of my refurb ones. So I'm going to leave that going for a while. I'm going to balance this up, put that in the car, and hopefully by then it will start heating. If it starts heating and it starts to get to about 40, I'm going to bolt it, and we are going to do a cycle in it tonight. We're just testing it here, and I've advanced it 1, and it's just decided to just sit there. Oh no, it's doing it now. That took ages. Should go back to rinse. I did advance it after. It sat for like a minute before it decided. Oh, I'm going to start advancing. Back to rinse. Do. Yeah, fine. If you turn it to stop, you'll recognise it, and then it'll reset. There we go, we've reset.